National Defense Authorization Act, he also declared war against Iran, essentially, by making it impossible for businesses to do business with the Iranian bank who clears the deals to sell oil. And so already we've just heard from Japan. They said, according to the reports, that they're going to cut back on buying Iranian oil. Timothy Geithner just went to China and tried to strong arm the Chinese into not buying Iranian oil. 22% of Iranian oil goes to China. The European Economic Union, the Eurozone, they have already announced that they're going to stop buying Iranian oil. It's an act of war. It's a reverse of what happened as they're talking about what Pearl Harbor. I mean, people, if they know their history a little bit, the United States stopped Japan from buying oil. And now what they're doing is they're stopping Iran from selling their oil, and over 60% of Iran's GDP comes from selling oil. So we could see what's being set up here. Imagine this. Imagine if Iran put sanctions on companies doing business with America. Oh my God, would there be some outrage going on?
No, I did notice that all of this is unfolding. In fact, while you were talking, Rob Dew just walked in and handed this to me. Well, is why I was distracted for a moment. It's on another issue, Gerald, but it ties into just the rampant criminality. Here is a story out of Reuters. MF Global may not be able to pay clients back. The trustee says, Gerald, and so here we are 2-3 months into this, 2.5 months into this, and now they're just saying, we don't know where the money is. Most of you won't get your money back. And by the way, Corzine, the White House advisor, got caught lying in Congress, but nobody gets in trouble. I mean, doesn't that just green light all sorts of new crime?
Well, exactly. It's a criminal operation. And this Corzine, I love the headline. He's looking for new place to start up business. Yeah, how about Sing Sing? Again, when you look at the prostitutes and how they cover this, imagine if you or I or anybody listening breaks a minor crime. They'll crash down your doors and drag you away. Could you imagine not being able to find money on your tax return? How they'd be hounding you to death? And going back and talking about this criminality and tying it together, here's what's going on, as I said, in Europe. Because as we made this forecast based upon, as you mentioned a year ago, the collapse coming, the cover-up. It's not a recovery. We said it was a cover-up. And you look back and you hear the European Central Banker at the time, the head Trichet, a couple of years ago, saying that the Greek problem was solved. They would handle it. And now, of course, you can't make this stuff up, Alex. This is yesterday's Financial Times. Here's the headline. ECB sees signs of let-up in debt crisis. This is yesterday. Today, guess what? We have a debt crisis again. And here's what they're saying over there in Greece. This is from the Australian. Banks say no deal on Greek debt. Quote, there has been no agreement on any Greek deal or a specific haircut, says Charles Dallara, head of the Institute of International Finance, which represents banks in the EU negotiation. We remain open to a dialogue in search of a voluntary agreement. Now let's make this clear so everyone could understand this BS language. The banks made bad bets. It's as simple as that. Because they made bad bets, they don't want to take a haircut. You make a bad bet. Hey, you know what we'll call that, Alex? Capitalism. How about that?
Oh.
But not when the banks do it. They don't want to take a haircut because the white shoe boys don't want to take a trimming. Instead, they're going to screw you and grab the money from you, from the Greeks, from the Italians, from the Americans, from the French, from the German, from everybody. So what do? I got it. Austerity measures. How's that for a nice word? It kind of conjures up those feelings of, doing the right thing. Yeah, like raising taxes, cutting benefits, cutting pensions, cutting services, and increasing the cost of services, raising taxes as you're losing money, and increasing the retirement age until after you're dead. So now what is happening is the whole system is collapsing. We're hearing reports that are coming out today, as you know, that they're going to be downgrading French and Austrian debt, just like they did in the U.S. What does that mean? The credit rating is being lowered.
So the very bankers that engineered all this, who are the recipients of our bailout, that's our tax money, they then lower your government's credit rating, and you pay them higher interest on the money you gave them that they loan back to you.
Exactly, and that's why they call them the money changers, the loan sharks. Again, the people that Jesus Christ beat out of the temple with a whip and turned over their tables. The money changers are in charge, like a slime ball-like corzine. And it keeps going on. I'm sure, Alex, that you read the latest reports that just came out. Again, this goes under the headlines of, you can't make this up. And here's the latest one. It's about those wonderful boys at the Federal Reserve. How they called it wrong in 2006. You have the transcripts of people like Timothy Geithner saying, quote, "We just don't see troubling signs yet of collateral damage. And we are not expecting much. Oh, we aren't we? The wees, the white shoe weasels. That's who Wheeze is. There's one after another. This is the cat that's running the Treasury. And I love the language as it keeps going on. You'd like to grab these guys by the throat. It's like, who are you talking to? I'd like the record to show Geithner goes on to say how wonderful Greenspan is.
Oh, yes, stay there. So one little mafia minion's telling us how great the retired Don did, how they helped every on extraordinary people.